Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I read glitch in the matrix stories, usually. Stories that are just strange. Now let's get right into it. Story title: See You Again. Author name: Mukhorochok. I was late leaving from work that night, and the office cabs were all booked up until much later on, so I decided to take the local bus route, which would take about an hour's journey to get home. The bus barely had 4 or 5 people on board. I was wary of getting inside. Since I wasn't sure of the next bus's arrival, I just got into the bus regardless. I realized there was not a single girl on the bus, just 4 or 5 male passengers. I was slightly uneasy as it was late. The bus started its route, and after 2 destinations, another girl came in and gestured if she could sit next to me. I nodded yes. She said I saw you inside the bus and took a chance, as she had to reach home too. She also left work late. Out of curiosity, I asked her, "Where are you getting off at?" I realized she was getting off much before me. Anyways, it was okay to have company while possible. She told me, "Don't worry, I can get off after you if you're scared. The bus would be empty by the time you get off." She insisted. The bus conductor looked upon us whimsically as we spoke. When it was my destination, I told her to reach her home safely, then thanked her for the generosity and company. We shared smiles and a hug. She came by the window for a final goodbye, so I waved at her too. Instantly, the bus conductor said, "To whom are you waving, miss?" I said, "Are you blind? There's a lady by the window." He said, "Madam, you're the only woman in the bus, and I've been wondering who you were talking to this whole time." The bus took off speedily, and I took another glance. There was nobody by the window. I had a chill run down my spine. I came home and told this to my folks, that an angel looked after me today. Personal thoughts. So I think that you needed to feel safer in that specific moment. It's not likely that you were in any real danger, but just the thought that you could have been might have led to rash decision making. Just feeling unsettled can make you do interesting things, but maybe not the best decisions. So this spirit found you, or maybe an angel, and helped you along the way on your late journey back home. I wonder whoever this girl used to be though, if it's not an angel. If something bad had happened to her on that bus route before. Did she seem young, dressed to the era? If so, she may not have passed away that long ago. It is definitely possible that this was just a guardian angel event. Someone higher up believing you needed assurances of safety, even if not appearing to anyone else. But then if it was a spirit, why could no one else see her? Second story. Story title: I've Been to Heaven Before. Author name: amyrebeccaa. I've changed all names for obvious reasons. Quick background. When I was younger, I was a very sick child, constantly in and out of the hospital. At 2.5, I contracted pertussis encephalopathy, basically an infection of the brain. I was having seizure after seizure. My siblings were brought in to say goodbye to me before I was being transported to another hospital. They were told they'd never see me again. On the way in the ambulance, my heart stopped 3 times. The third, they thought they lost me, but did manage to bring me back after a few minutes. My parents were told I had a 50-50 chance, but that if I lived, I'd be in a vegetative state. Spoiler alert. I was neither and managed to come out of it basically fine. The doctor said they never saw someone come out of what I did, and to this day, talk about it when I see them. Now here's where it gets weird. Fast forward to when I'm 3, fully recovered, and we as a family are going through family photos. I point out one of my grandmothers, who died years before I was born, and said, "There's Nanny Collins." My family were shocked because there's no photos of her around the house, and I'd never been shown one. There was no way I could know what she had looked like. Curious, they all asked me, "How do you know that?" And I reply, I was up in her house playing with Anne. They ask, my cousin Annie, who's my age? I tell them no, not Annie, Anne. At this point, they're freaked out. My cousin Annie is named after her aunt, Anne, who died when she was 1.5 years. There's just no way I knew about this, because she died 30 years before this incident. Then I said the thing that struck them the most. I tell them, I was playing with Anne and her toys, but Nanny Collins told me I had to go home to Mommy and Daddy, that I wasn't ready to stay here yet. I truly believed I died, went to whatever kind of afterlife there is, but my grandmother saved me. It explains how I came out of what I did when my chances were literally death or living dead. For a few years after this, I still spoke of my Nanny Collins and told my family that whenever I was sad, she would come and cheer me up. I would go to her grave and talk to her like we're having conversation. Then one day, I told them that she said I didn't need her anymore, and after that day, I never spoke of her again. I truly believe my nanny was there for me through my tough childhood years. I sadly don't remember these things because I suspect she stopped showing to me when I was old enough to remember. I wish I did remember, but all my family members do. Even my aunts and uncles talk about this and how I spoke about her all the time. Nanny Collins, thank you for saving my life. Personal thoughts. Your grandmother's spirit, her essence, indeed protected you. That's clear as day. But I wonder if this energy left over was able to conjure in you, old memories, or even make you see entirely new, at least for you, scenarios during your time of suffering. I know you were so young, but even then, you can still suffer. So shielding you from reality in the time that she could heal you, or maybe perhaps you really did go to some sort of heaven, an afterlife. But that's one thing I don't have a proper grasp of, mainly because all the accounts of afterlife experiences are very specific, very unique. There's no real pattern to it that I can decipher. Which leads me to believe it's probably an artifact of our mind being interacted with by outside forces, but maybe even our own internal forces. Our brains are wonderfully powerful. It's possible that our minds just play in fictional scenarios that are of its own creation. One thing I'm confident of is your Nanny Collins, the strong force of her that still remains and guided you out of your own hell on earth. And that concludes our 2 stories for the night. If you enjoyed them and my narration of them, then consider leaving a like and also sharing the video. It's an excellent way to support the channel, but only if you'd like to, no pressure. And if you'd like to subscribe, I upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. EST. I'll see you all there.